Being an older elf, Kip was in charge of getting the reindeer team ready. They had returned from trip number 6 wet and covered with mud. Dried, brushed, and fed, the reindeer had been reharnessed and now stood waiting. The sneezing was their biggest problem. No matter what the elves did, they could not stop the reindeer's drippy, drooly noses from dripping and drooling.
"Someone over here, clean this up! Don't slip on that spot!"
Kip warned his co-workers.
"Wipe off your shoes before you go into building 2.
Kip and his friend Cake had been in Nicholas's service for over 300 years. Kip was good with animals and was taking over team care for Cake, who was now in charge of packaging. Keeping things merry and bright was also Kip's job. But fatigue was taking a toll on everyone. Standing in front of the team, Kip was working with Dasher when the reindeer gave a sudden jerk.
"What's up, Dash?"
Kip scratched him on the forehead.
"Hey, Cake! Dasher's trying to tell me something!" "I'm coming! Almost done!"
Cake yelled back. Kip was on his toes, holding Dasher's face for a closer inspection of his eyes and nose.
"Those are some mighty red eyes, Dash."
He turned again.
"Cake! Cake!"
Cake hurried in, carrying 4 brightly wrapped packages.
"What's the problem?" "It's Dasher. He keeps pulling away from me and saying something, but I can't understand him."
Kip had not picked up reindeer language very well yet. Dasher was bawling loudly now.
"What do you want, big guy?"
Kip looked deeply into the old reindeer's bulging red eyes.
"Duck!"
Cake cried as he dropped to the floor, but it was too late. Dasher delivered a full-blown Northland reindeer sneeze right into Kip's surprised face. The force of it sent Kip somersaulting backward and crashing into an old oak barrel filled with styrofoam packing. He sat dazed on the straw-covered floor, thoroughly drenched by the reindeer's sticky outburst and pasted from head to foot with the white foam peanuts. When Dasher gave what sounded like a short snort and a long wheeze, a big smile broke over Cake's face and he started to laugh.
"What are you laughing about?"
Kip sputtered.
"He tried to warn you,"
Cake chuckled.
"Now he's saying, 'Stoff mig.' It means, 'excuse me.'"
Another voice came from the back of the team and Cake doubled over with laughter.
"And Blitzen says, 'God bless you.'"
Cake was still cackling when the door of the barn opened and Nicholas slogged in.
"Where are my dishes?"
Nicholas bellowed. Cake composed himself and ran to a nearby gift packer's bench.
"How many do you need, sir?" "I need the whole box."
Nicholas sneezed again and took a tissue from Cake and blew his nose. Cake had never heard this tone from his boss.
"There. That's a little better now. What's going on here?"
Nicholas asked, looking down at the still dripping Kip.
"It's the team, sir,"
the elf answered as he stood and began wiping himself off.
Yes, go on,"
Nicholas insisted.
"Sir, they're all sick. They're drippy and weak and a little cranky."
Cake heard Blitzen whispering to Donner.
"We're not the only cranky ones around here."
Nicholas looked at the team and sneezed again, his eyes brimming and blurring.
"What about Dancer? Is she feeling any better?"
he asked.
"Dancer is too sick to go out again,"
Kip answered.
"She is running a temp, and we have to keep her warm and dry."
"So what do we do now? Is there a replacement?"
"Well, sir, we do have one healthy volunteer, sir."
Kip proceeded carefully.
"We've already checked her out, and she's very excited about the trip."
"Who are you talking about?"
Nicholas asked.
"Gracie, sir."
Nicholas's shaggy eyebrows rose as he rolled his eyes. What next? He wondered.
"Gracie? You want to send Gracie? My missus would never allow it. She raised her from a fawn.
Kip could tell his boss was not at all jolly tonight.
Sir, we already talked to Mrs. Claus, and she said she has full confidence in Gracie. She's almost 2 years old. She's trained and knows all the commands, and I'm afraid we have no choice. There's no one left.
Kip's eyes moved past Nicholas.
Look, here she comes.
A pretty young reindeer was being led in. She wore the wide black leather harness of the lead deer, with its rows of mirror-image brass bells. Her black hooves shone with polish, and her coat was freshly shampooed and brushed. Excitement poured from her eyes, bright with anticipation of adventure. Cantering up to the big man, she gazed adoringly at him. Nicholas studied her as he nervously twirled and twizzled his beard. This is not a good idea, he thought, and the harness is way too big for her. He sneezed as he turned to walk the length of the big barn. Pacing brought no answers or options. Returning to the team, he had one major concern in mind. Daylight was soon to come. Delay meant big problems. To cancel was unthinkable. He sneezed again.
Okay, we have no choice. Hit your up.
Nicholas sneezed again, followed by Comet, then Cupid. Kip and Cake ducked just in time to miss most of the gooey spray.
Did you put the dishes in the back?
Nicholas sniffled.
Cake did, sir.
Kip responded.
They're in the emergency pack.
With Gracie hitched up, Nicholas mounted his seat and the sleigh pulled out into the big yard.
Is there some aspirin around here? I've got a doozy of a headache.
In the emergency pack, sir.
Kip shouted up to him. The old man leaned over to Cake, who was standing by, and whispered,
What are they saying? My ears are stopped up.
The elf listened to the conversations going on among the team.
They're saying they're very tired. They ache all over. They're worried about Gracie. She sometimes confuses east and west.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Nicholas sniffled.
Donner says he'll let you know if something needs attention.
The elf added.
I hope so,
said Nicholas.
I hope so.
With final checks made, the sleigh lifted away and slid smoothly into a clear midnight blue sky. Normally, all the elves would have heard Nicholas shout, "A Merry Christmas to all!" But this time all they could hear was a faint, moaning echo across the snowy hills.